Welcome back to my channel, where the glamour of fame meets the raw truth behind the curtain. Today, the man once called the king of R&B doesn't sing, he testifies. And what he reveals could destroy one of hip-hop's most powerful empires. Today, Usher Raymond, the R&B titan whose velvet voice once wove dreams of love and longing, steps onto a stage not of spotlights but of truth. His testimony threatens to topple Diddy's empire and expose a machine that trades fame for silence, a shadowy network that binds stars to secrets with ironclad promises and veiled threats. In the gallery, Janetta Patton, Usher's mother and former manager, sits with hands clasped so tightly her knuckles pale, her eyes a storm of maternal love, pride, and unspoken regret for the world her son entered. Beside her, a mysterious woman, her face half hidden by a wide-brimmed hat, waits in the shadows, her presence a spark ready to ignite a firestorm of revelations. Her story, whispered only in fragments, hints at truths too dangerous to speak until now. This trial is more than a legal battle, it's a reckoning, a theater of truth where the stakes are not just careers or reputations, but souls laid bare before a world that once idolized their masks. What does it take to stand in Usher's shoes, to bear your scars before a courtroom and a global audience that adored your polished image? Could you summon the courage to rewrite your story on such a stage, knowing the cost might be everything you've built? The courtroom doors swing open, and Usher Raymond strides in, his presence a blend of charisma and vulnerability, a man who once commanded arenas now facing a different kind of spotlight. Gone is the effortless swagger of his Confessions era. In its place is a quiet resolve, his face etched with the weight of years spent navigating fame's treacherous currents. His eyes, though weary, burn with purpose as he takes the witness stand, adjusting the microphone with a performer's instinct. The crowd leans forward, sensing a bombshell about to detonate, their collective breath held in anticipation of words that could reshape an industry. The prosecutor, Ms. Elena Wong, rises, her voice steady as tempered steel. "Mr. Raymond, please state your purpose here today." Usher leans forward, his voice smooth yet heavy, carrying the cadence of a man who's rehearsed this moment in his mind for years. "I'm here to tell the truth about my time with Sean Combs, about the world he built, and about the price we all paid to keep it standing. I was young, impressionable, and I saw things I was told to forget, things that haunt me still. Today, I'm done being silent." A ripple of gasps spreads through the courtroom, swiftly silenced by the judge's gavel. Diddy's hands clench beneath the defense table, his polished facade cracking like porcelain under pressure. His legal team, led by Victor Grayson, a silver-haired attorney with a reputation for shredding witnesses, exchanges tense glances, their notepads untouched for the first time in days. The jury, a diverse panel of 12 New Yorkers, teachers, accountants, retirees, watches intently, some leaning forward, others scribbling notes, their faces a mix of skepticism and captivation. Janetta Patton's eyes glisten, her lips pressed tight, as if bracing for the storm her son's words will unleash. Usher's testimony begins with a journey back to 1994, when, as a 14-year-old prodigy, he was sent to live with Diddy in New York under the guise of mentorship. "I was a kid from Atlanta, wide-eyed, dreaming of stardom. Puffy promised to make me a star, but what I walked into wasn't just a studio, it was a world of shadows." His voice softens, tinged with regret. "I saw parties that weren't parties. Rooms filled with people who looked powerful but acted desperate. Young artists, like me, pulled into spaces where the rules weren't clear, where saying no felt like betraying your shot." He describes Diddy's flavor camp, a term the mogul used to describe his mentorship program, but which Usher paints as a labyrinth of influence and control. "We were told it was about learning the game, music, business, life. But it was about loyalty, about proving you'd keep quiet. I saw girls, some my age, some younger, ushered into back rooms after signing papers they barely understood. I heard whispers of promises, threats, deals made in the dark." The courtroom is silent, the weight of his words settling like dust after an explosion. Janetta Patton grips her purse, her face a mask of pain, as if reliving her decision to entrust her son to Diddy's world. Usher glances at her, his voice catching. My mom didn't know. She thought she was giving me a chance. But I was too young to understand what I was seeing, too scared to ask questions. Grayson rises, his tone sharp. Objection, Your Honor. These are vague anecdotes, not evidence. Mr. Raymond offers no specifics, no proof, just stories from a teenager's memory. Ms. Wong counters smoothly. Mr. Raymond's testimony is part of a pattern, corroborated by documents and forthcoming witnesses. His account sets the stage for what he later uncovered. The judge's eyes narrow. Overruled. Proceed, Mr. Raymond. Have you ever been too young or too powerless to question something wrong? How does that shape your courage later in life? Usher's voice grows steadier as he moves to his adult years, his rise to fame paralleled by a growing unease. By the early 2000s, I was a star, but I couldn't shake what I had seen. I started hearing stories, other artists, assistants, people who worked for Bad Boy Records. They'd talk off the record, scared, about NDAs, payoffs, and parties that felt like traps. He holds up a worn notebook, its pages filled with dates and names, his handwriting jagged from years of suppressed memories. I kept notes, not because I planned to speak, but because I couldn't forget. He recounts a 2001 incident at a Bad Boy Records event where a young singer approached him, her eyes hollow. She said she'd been at one of Diddy's parties, signed an NDA, and now couldn't sleep. She was terrified her career would end if she spoke. I told her to stay strong, but I didn't know how to help her. I was still figuring out my own place in that world. The prosecutor projects an email on the courtroom screen, dated 2003, from a Bad Boy executive to a PR firm, instructing them to neutralize rumors about Diddy's parties. Usher's voice hardens. Neutralize meant silence. It meant paying people off, threatening them, or ruining their names. I saw it happen to friends, to artists who dared to question the machine. Grayson objects again, his voice dripping with disdain. Your Honor, a single email proves nothing. This is a music industry practice, not a conspiracy. Ms. Wong responds, her tone unwavering. This email is one piece of a larger mosaic, Your Honor, supported by testimony and records we'll present. The judge nods. Continue, Mr. Raymond. What does it feel like to carry secrets you can't share? How would you balance loyalty to an industry with loyalty to your conscience? Usher's testimony takes a dramatic turn as he gestures toward the gallery, where the mysterious woman sits, her face still half hidden. She came to me in 2005, after a show. She was one of Diddy's assistants, someone who'd seen everything but was too afraid to speak. She gave me this. He holds up a USB drive, its surface scratched but gleaming under the courtroom lights. Recordings, documents, proof of what went on behind closed doors. She begged me to keep it safe, said her life depended on it. The woman shifts in her seat, her eyes meeting Usher's for a fleeting moment, a silent acknowledgement of their shared burden. The courtroom buzzes, reporters typing furiously, as Ms. Wong takes the USB and submits it as evidence. This drive contains audio of conversations at Diddy's parties, NDAs signed under duress, and financial records of payments to silence witnesses, she declares. Grayson leaps to his feet, his face flushed. Your Honor, this is a stunt. We have no proof of the drive's authenticity or chain of custody. The judge's voice is icy. Counsel, you'll have your chance to cross-examine. For now, the evidence is admitted. Usher continues, his voice low but resolute. I didn't know what to do with it then. I was scared for her, for me, for what it meant. But I kept it, because I knew one day the truth would need a voice. Who do you think this woman is, and what risks did she take to share her truth? What would it take for you to trust someone with such dangerous secrets? Usher's testimony broadens, his words painting a chilling picture of a network that transcends Diddy. This wasn't just one man. It was a system, executives, PR firms, other artists, even media outlets. They all played a part, protecting the machine, keeping the secrets locked away. He names no names, but his implications are clear, sending a ripple of unease through the gallery. Reporters exchanged glances, aware that his words could implicate titans of the industry. He recounts a 2010 meeting with a record label executive who warned him to stay in line or risk losing endorsements. They didn't say Diddy's name, but I knew who they meant. I'd seen too much, heard too much. I was a liability unless I played along. Usher's voice trembles with anger. I chose to play along for a while because I had a family, a career, people depending on me. But silence eats at you. It's a weight you can't shake. Janetta Patton wipes a tear, her face a portrait of a mother torn between pride and guilt. The mysterious woman remains still, her presence a quiet testament to the courage it takes to defy power. Have you ever felt pressured to stay silent to protect your future? How do you decide when to break that silence? Usher's voice lowers as he describes the personal toll. Speaking out now, I know what's coming. They'll call me a liar, say I'm chasing clout, question my character. I've seen what they did to others, Wendy Williams, Mark Curry, anyone who dared to talk. But I'm here because I can't live with the silence anymore. He turns to the jury, his eyes pleading. This isn't just about me or Diddy. It's about every young artist who walked into that world thinking it was a dream, only to find a nightmare. He recounts a 2015 encounter with Diddy, where the mogul offered him a lucrative deal to join a new venture. All I had to do was stay quiet, keep the past buried. I said no, and suddenly, opportunities dried up. Gigs canceled, deals stalled. That's how the machine works. It rewards loyalty and punishes truth. The jury shifts, some jurors locking eyes with Usher, others glancing at Diddy, whose composure is fraying, his fingers drumming nervously. The mysterious woman in the gallery leans forward, her expression unreadable but intense, as if willing Usher to keep going. What's the heaviest price you've paid for standing up for what's right? How do you find the strength to keep going when the world pushes back? As Usher steps down, the courtroom remains hushed, his words lingering like a storm's aftershock. Grayson rises, his cross-examination laced with skepticism, accusing Usher of fabricating stories for attention. You're a star, Mr. Raymond. Why risk your legacy for unproven claims? Usher's response is calm but cutting, because my legacy means nothing if it's built on lies. Outside, the world ignites. Social media erupts with Usher speaks, fans and skeptics clashing over his testimony. Old interviews resurface, Usher's cryptic comments about Diddy's influence, once dismissed as vague, now viewed as warnings. The mysterious woman slips out unnoticed, her role in the trial still a shadow, but her evidence a ticking bomb. Industry insiders scramble, distancing themselves from Diddy as brands pause collaborations, sensing a shifting tide. The prosecution announces that the woman, identified only as Witness X, will testify soon, her story promising to corroborate Usher's account and unveil more of the machine's inner workings. Legal analysts predict a turning point, with one commenting, Usher's testimony, paired with this evidence, could redefine accountability in entertainment. What do you think Witness X will reveal? How can her story amplify Usher's courage and shake the industry's foundations? Usher's testimony is a spark in a powder keg, a challenge to dismantle a system where fame buys silence and power buries truth. As the trial continues, his words echo beyond the courtroom, urging us to act. Look around, your workplace, your community, the spaces you inhabit. If you see someone silenced, controlled, or harmed, don't look away. Ask questions. Listen deeply. Share their story. A single act, a tweet, a conversation, a refusal to comply can crack the foundation of complicity. The trial isn't just about Diddy, it's about a culture that lets power thrive unchecked. Usher, like Wendy before him, shows that one voice can start a revolution. What's your voice? Share your thoughts. How can we challenge systems that protect the powerful? What's one step you can take today, checking on a friend, calling out unfairness, amplifying a truth, to ensure no one else pays the price of silence? The trial of Sean Diddy Combs grips the globe, but Usher's testimony has already shifted its axis. Once a symbol of R&B's golden era, he's now a beacon for those crushed by power, a reminder that truth, however long buried, will rise. The courtroom saga continues, Witness X, the jury's verdict, and further revelations loom, but Usher's voice has rung a bell that cannot be unrung. Janetta Patton watches her son leave the stand, her eyes shining with pride and pain, knowing his courage came at a cost she couldn't shield him from. As Usher exits the courthouse, fans and reporters swarm, shouting questions. He pauses, his voice steady. "I didn't do this for fame or revenge. I did it for the kids who dream big, so they never have to trade their souls for a shot." The mysterious woman, now vanished into the crowd, leaves behind a legacy of evidence that will fuel the fight. The question isn't just Diddy's guilt, it's whether we'll heed Usher's call to tear down a system that thrives on silence. What will you do to keep the truth alive? How will you help bring that machine to its knees?